Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. My name is Rانيا Awad. I am a psychiatrist, which is basically a medical doctor who works with mental health, and I'm at the Stanford University School of Medicine. And there I'm also the clinical director of the Khalil Center, which is a counseling center, a professional counseling center that integrates Islamic spirituality into the counseling that we do. I'm also somebody who studied the Deen for a long period of time and hold ijazas in the traditional Islamic sciences, and I teach Islamic law and theology at the Zaytuna College, which is a Muslim liberal arts college in California. And so, part of what I wanted to share with you today is a little bit of my reflections. I was just giving a talk now on the topic of marriage, and I shared one of these stories of how I was sharing a story of one of the therapists that's in training with us at the Khalil Center, and it's a man who decided to go into the field of counseling specifically because he said that in 1 year, all of his friends coming out of college, so they're all about, early 20s, mid-20s, got married. So many of his friends got married in a row. But within less than a year, five of those couples all ended up in divorce. Some of whom only lasted the marriage only lasted just a few months. And he was so terrified as to why is this happening? Why is it that Muslim marriages are ending up with the same statistics that non-Muslim marriages are ending up with in divorce as well, which is roughly 50%, which is a very high number when you think about it. And they're very young marriages too. So part of the discussion that I want to share with you today is this concept of premarital counseling, figuring out ahead of time if the person is actually a right fit. And sometimes it's not going to be enough that it's just the parents that are weighing in or just your friends that are weighing in, but this actually takes some professional help and care as well. Just like you wouldn't take your car to a mechanic, you wouldn't decide to take him to a guy in the grocery store who says, oh, I know how to fix cars, right? And yet we do the same thing with our marriages. To get a driver's license to drive a car, you take an actual test, you read a guidebook, you take an actual test, and you go on the road and make sure you know how to drive. And that's a car. Yet a marriage and a spouse, there is absolutely nothing that is required of you ahead of time. No course to take, no tests to take, nothing that actually certifies that you know how to communicate properly, that you know how to actually deal with this marriage appropriately, if this is even the right fit, if it's just a matter of emotions and infatuation, or if this is going to last the forever and everness of marriage. And this is why I really recommend premarital counseling. And I think our imams that are moving towards only marrying couples after they've gone through premarital counseling is going to be the way to go in the future. Because otherwise, in just a few months or a few weeks or a few years, they're going to be the ones helping with the divorce. Right? So better we avoid this problem ahead of time. And the Khalil Center does actually offer pre-marriage counseling as a package, and talks about each and every session has a very specific way of figuring out how to help that young couple figure out where they're headed. And older couples too, by the way. I think as we talk about the issues around our well-being and around counseling and make this more and more of the norm, this is actually, in my opinion, a prophetic sunnah. The Prophet ﷺ was someone who actually talked to the people he was with and helped problem solve with them and gave advice. This is precisely what counseling does, and I hope, inshallah, that those who are watching this will take this advice into account and really use it to their advantage, inshallah. Barakallahu feekum. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.